back, everyone. We're both here this time. It's been an eventful past week or so. We just had Carnival here in Ecuador, and in particular here in Salinas. So we're going to talk about that. LaShawn's going to speak on her recovery from surgery, and yeah, it's been a pretty different week for us here in Ecuador, because this year's Carnival was a lot different than last year.
Yeah, it was actually, what I saw was pretty eventful.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I'll try to stick a thing in here with the schedule of events that went on. So first, there's due to the traffic light curfew system, which is basically like red, green, yellow. Certain areas are red, certain areas are yellow, certain areas are green. The green areas there's no curfew, they kind of do whatever they want. The red areas, there's some restrictions. So Carnival in those areas, in particular, has been adjusted from what it normally is. Because ordinarily people can kind of throw water and spray foam and stuff all over the place and on people. And it's a tradition, it's something they do here. That was basically banned this year in a lot of cities.
So Salinas fell in the red?
I think so. They put out, well before Carnival started, that there were going to be some restrictions. So stores couldn't sell the bottles of spray foam. And there were some environmental questions about it too, just not being really safe to spray everywhere. They weren't allowed to sell it. People weren't allowed to use it in public places. Of course, there was still a curfew in place at midnight, even though for Carnival, they didn't really start clearing the streets until about 12:30. The difference here from last year, it's stark. I will say that it was really crowded.
Well, to me, it looked like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people coming in, starting around 4 and 5 o'clock in the evening, and it looked like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Now, I only heard fireworks a couple times at night, but from our neighbors, they were saying it was lit up in the front. I can't really say because I wasn't out there. So I don't want to speculate whether or not it was more people last year than this year. I think also it may have been the same amount or more, because last year they didn't block the Malecon. This time you have foot traffic more so than cars coming down the Malecon. And of course, during that time, they were spraying foam and throwing water. So that minimized, but I think you may still had the same amount of traffic as last year. You just had foot traffic versus cars coming down the Malecon.
Yeah, it did seem like there were a lot of people here in Salinas, especially here near the beach. They did, like she said, they blocked the traffic. So last year, the traffic wasn't blocked. So there were cars, it was just jam-packed on the Malecon. And the way the Malecon is it goes from 3 lanes to 2 lanes. And it might as well have been 4 lanes, because there was cars and,
everywhere,
stacked up 4 deep all the way across, just going straight down. And it was a mess. But this year was a lot more orderly. There was a lot of organized events going on. There was a concert near the airport, not far.
That happened on Sunday.
I think it was.
Yeah, the concert happened on Sunday. And let's just say, when they blocked off traffic, if you came onto the Malecon, it was kind of directed to past security. So they were checking bags, they were checking coolers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of stuff. I actually saw someone getting their banned bottles of spray foam confiscated out of a minivan. I guess they caught them selling, and they immediately just took all that stuff. security was really
Tight.
And I don't even want to say it was tight. It was just very present. I would say, you know, deterred a lot of, you know, foolishness
Criminal
from
activity
happening.
and foolishness that happened last year. So I think that was the idea to not have what happened last year happen this year.
Right.
Historically, Salinas was the only city that did not have a parade during Carnival. So this year would have been their first annual Carnival parade. They had one on Sunday, they had one on Monday. The one on Monday involved floats, dancers, and bands. So we don't know if this is going to be an annual event or that would be the only event, but hopefully it will be an annual event, and I'm pretty sure it'll grow bigger once they get more organized.
And I guess since this was maybe one of the first times they had closed off the Malecon, it was the only time it would be feasible to have a parade on the Malecon because there's no car traffic. But all that being said, it was very well organized. You know, we got to give a little bit of thanks to the mayor for organizing these events and just, you know, participating in all the events. And, you know, and he was participating in every one of them.
Yes.
I don't know how this dude was everywhere at once. It was crazy.
But he was there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like he's trying. At a concert last night that closed out Carnival on the beach.
And there was a show in Chepipe. It was, I think, Monday. I don't know. There was a lot going on.
They had a sand
sculpture contest. Which I try to throw some tricks in here. So a little side note here. I actually rode around on a scooter one day to try to get some footage of some of the things that were going on the beach. Bonehead Steve, I left my visor up. So everything that you would want to see is covered by my visor. I throw a piece of that in here just so you see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I screwed that up, my fault. But
yeah, he didn't have his trusty sidekick out there with him.
And it was right on the way back for whatever reason when I wasn't filming anything important. So yeah, mistakes happen, I'm sorry. But anyway, let's shift focus. LaShawn, how are you feeling? And can you give us an update and your final thoughts on using the medical system and if maybe things we would have done different?
I feel fine. I'm on the mend. I had my stitches taken out today, so yay for that. What would I have done differently? I'm not sure. I mean, because it's a learning experience basically for everything. I think I still would have went through IESS to, you know, find out what was going on. Maybe instead of going to Servident, I probably start the process at Granados because they do accept IESS there as well. I've heard a lot about public insurance and the way they go about doing things. We haven't discussed that, if that's something that we want to do.
Well, we had
private
insurance at first.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see. But I did find out that the hospitals in the bigger cities, which I thought provided you with more of the items or the things that I'm pretty sure you would see in the U.S. I don't have any info or video or
any experience in those bigger city hospitals at all?
No.
Yeah.
But the reason why we did not choose to go to Guayaquil or Manta is because Guayaquil is 2.5 hours away. Manta is 4 or 5 hours away.
4 hours, yeah.
And then if anything happened, I would have to travel back there. So the reason why we chose Granados is only 10-15 minutes away from us. So if anything happened, I could, take a taxi and get right back there. Or if we needed an ambulance, that would not be an issue.
Transportation was an issue, basically. So after all that, she's good. She got her little stitches out.
Oh, stop it, please.
The doctor's pretty cool. He speaks a little English. So it was, I don't want to say painless because it wasn't painless for her. But the process of action, when we finally were able to get it done, it was relatively painless.
It wasn't painless. It was
stress painless. I'm sorry.
It was streamless. Seamless. I'm sorry. It was seamless, and I'm sure things work different when you're paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
So, but either way, I still will use IESSS for any doctor's appointments or dentist appointments. Any of those things, we still will use that.
Yeah. And I know, because I got a comment, I know it's pronounced EIS. We just, for whatever reason, we just have a hard time saying it.
Oh yeah, because we're saying the letters.
Yeah, we're saying the letters.
Sorry.
But yeah, we know it is EIS. We're not.
EIS.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he didn't tell me that. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's not a bad system. It has its flaws and everything, but it's not terrible.
I mean, the U.S. has its flaws too. So, when you're using insurance in the U.S., you think, I'm paying for this insurance. I pay my little copay, and next thing you know, you get that 20% or 30% that your insurance actually paid, and then you get the rest.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Or if you got to do something like, which I've had a bunch of, like you got to get an MRI, and they the insurance company will pay for the MRI partially. You still end up having to pay like a couple $100 or maybe $400 for an MRI. But before they'll even approve it, they say, "Oh, you got to go to physical therapy first." Like,
which is
I
crazy.
need this MRI now.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I had an issue with that because they wanted him to go to physical therapy before they did an MRI. Which means when you go to physical therapy, they have nothing to go by. They have no idea what your spine, your hip, or anything looks like, and they're doing all of these adjustments, which caused him more pain. And then when they pop something or crack something, the MRI goes through. Then you can be seen. Well, you done the damage then.
Yeah, I can't walk, and now, we got to give him an MRI. Well, you knew that before.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the issues with the U.S. But other than that, I have no complaint. Like I said, I got great health. I got great care while I was in the hospital. And like I said, the nurses and the doctors were very attentive. I would not change a thing. And for me, that's more important. I mean, I appreciate no one could call me because there was no phones, there were no dressers or desks to put your stuff in. All of that is irrelevant. I was there for care. I got the care. I came home. I'm here now. I'm doing well. So, thanks.
Yep.
I'm thankful.
She'll be ready for, volleyball or something.
No, I won't. I will not. I will not be able to do any exercises until April 1st. Yeah. So, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
And to him, I've lost a lot of weight. But I'm still solid. So, because he was like, yeah, you still solid. You lost some weight, but you're still solid.
Still a ton of bricks.
But back to Carnival, I don't think it was as loud as it was
Definitely
last
not.
year.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. It definitely wasn't as loud as last year.
Yeah. But there was a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't see a lot of fireworks. I think the only one that scared me to death was the one that was outside of our balcony.
You were asleep, and there was some right outside of our building.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was really close. I guess it might have been somebody in the building shooting them off the balcony or something. I don't know, but they were really close. But yeah, otherwise, we didn't hear a lot of fireworks, and definitely not a lot of music.
No.
Because they were shutting down the streets at, after like 12:40. I have a little video of that actually. And yeah, partying. I saw them break up a party at like 12:45.
They were not having it.
Yeah, they weren't having it. They were real serious about this curfew.
I'd like to thank Salinas Mayor for organizing all the events, and I think it was a successful weekend, Carnival weekend or festivities.
4 days, 3 days, 4 days?
It was 3 days of events, but
it was 4 days total, but 3 days of events, yeah.
For me, not even being a part of it, but what I did see, I think it was very organized. In your opinion, what's your point of view?
The same. I went outside each day and just kind of peeped the scene out, and it was pretty organized. The beaches were absolutely packed.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, with that many people, there's going to be like trash left over. So there was some trash like in the water when the high tide came in after people leave the beach and kind of sweep back out into the water. But like that's almost to be expected. Like those guys can't pick up all that trash.
And the people were still out there kind of
wash stuff. And then maybe the stuff that was like in some of the rocks closer to the seawall,
Yeah.
that stuff is in the rocks. The water, it came up really high and just swept all that stuff back out into the ocean. So other than that, it was really organized. They had guys out sweeping the streets, picking up trash, like, and like I said, they were serious about the foam, and so I didn't see anybody getting sprayed. I'm pretty sure it happened somewhere, but I didn't see any. Not like last year when everyone was getting sprayed and water thrown on them and all kinds of stuff. It was insane.
Now I think in like in Cuenca when they had their parade, they still did.
Yeah, they were still doing it. It depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, from our point of view, it was a great carnival.
Yeah.
And, I think when you live on the beach, you're expected to see a lot of people. You're expected to hear a lot of music. You're expected to see fireworks. So the expectation was there for us, even though we didn't see a lot of it.
Yeah.
But we understand living here on the Malecon that those things are going to take place every now and then. So we can tolerate it for a few days.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll have some of my bonus footage for the members. So if you want, you can always get a membership. I'll have as much bonus footage as I can, and I try to upload videos early for the members as well. Like, share, and subscribe. You can check all the links in the description for anything that might interest you. And we will be back shortly.
Bye.
Later.